12 years, if your child says, continues, not once, obviously, if your child over a period of months says, I'm going to kill myself.
I just told you that's
if I don't do this.
That's not true.
Well, let me ask the question.
True. Cite the study on that, because that is not true.
I'm just asking the question.
A whole generation of children, because you just said that, and you are fundamentally wrong.
In your opinion.
No, it's not an opinion. It is not an
my
opinion.
question was directed to Candace.
That is not an opinion. All 7 studies that said that. No, it's a retraction on 7 studies.
Okay.
You cannot say that and have it true. The odds of those kids committing suicide will happen to 7 to 10 years after. You want to talk about facts and feelings, we'll do it. But don't say these kids are going to kill themselves.
I didn't say that.
The odds are they will.
Okay, so
after they.
What's going on, everyone? This is Talks with Kenny here. Today we'll be reacting to a video with Scott, Candace, and Perez Hilton. They'll be discussing parenting and the gender dysphoria in children. Let's go.
On this one point, because it's very important. It is a lie to suggest that, and I'm not blaming you for this lie, by the way, to suggest that it's just reversible. It's a very dangerous lie, right? There are extreme consequences of going on puberty blockers. It's not like you just pausing a YouTube video and you can come back and say, okay, now I want to watch the rest of the video. Once you have skipped puberty, you have skipped puberty. The consequence can be, if you're a boy and you skipped puberty, you would have literally a micro penis. You can become infertile. You cannot experience sexual pleasure. These are lifelong decisions that are being made by adults who I think are well-meaning. I don't think, Maren Morris wants to harm children, but it is very dangerous when she is using an opinion that people are taking in as facts.
And this is the problem I have with people like going along just to get along, right? Because if you tell me, hey, this puberty blocker, we can just pause puberty, that don't sound right to me. It's like, how you can pause puberty? Like, puberty is like raging hormones. You're just gonna pause it? Like, no. Like, life is not convenient. Like, life is not made for your convenience as an individual. You adapt to life. Life doesn't adapt to you. Do not pray for an easy life. You pray for the strength to endure a hard one. Because at the end of the day, life is uncompromising. Reality is uncompromising. Just because you believe, I was born in the wrong body, there's no way. Like, end of the day, is, hey, you're a male. Nature made you a male. God made you a male. You can't go against that, no matter how hard you try. And this is why I believe that when they do these transitions, they end up killing themselves anyway, because then they start to realize, damn, that one was able to give birth. I won't be able to give birth because I'm a man. Even though I look like a woman, I'm a man. And that's something they have to reconcile. But then imagine they're telling you that kids will be able to make decisions just like that when adults are out here dropping like flies because they made that choice. Now they want to bring that same thing to your kid. Lucron, the puberty blockers, what does a woman explain it perfectly? They use that to castrate sex offenders. So we're giving same drugs that we give to sex offenders to our kids. And you're telling me that's a good idea to treat a mental illness? It's crazy. It's like we lack common sense now. Like, how 50 years ago we weren't dealing with this problem, but now 5 minutes now we're dealing with, and this is the solution. How did this become the solution? On what grounds did transition your kid became a solution? All the arguments they use it to blackmail you. They use an emotional argument. There's no reason whatsoever. You'd rather have a living daughter or a dead son. That's their argument. Appeal to emotion. No logic, no reasoning. It's because we told you so. This is the proper path. This is you got your script, NPC. Read off the script. Oh, I'm a good parent. Look at me. I transitioned my kid at 15 years old because he said he was a girl. That's what they want y'all to act. That's how they want us to act like. As a parent, I'm a parent, bro. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a parent. If someone came to me and told my kid, hey, your kid said he's a girl, first thing I'm gonna ask, who put that idea in his head? Because it wasn't me. I'm a guardrail. I protect my kids from dangerous, unproven theories like critical race theory. I'm protecting my kid from that. Unproven. No one has been able to convince me. So why if I can't explain to my kid what something is, why would I let you teach it to him? Crazy, bro. These people really think they got the popular narrative. Okay, we'll see. 10 years, we'll see. When they dropping, they dying, when this mass suicide happened, they're going to be like, we don't know where this is coming from. Because you even know what the problem was to begin with. But you prescribe a solution. Oh, this is the solution. It'll fix everything. And we're just supposed to go along with it. Nah, not me. Not me.
When they actually believe that their children are going to be rendered happier because of all of this. No child can decide for themselves whether or not they want to have children long term and say, you know, I'm willing to forego this. They don't know that. That's not the information that they're being given when they go to the doctor's office. I also think it's dangerous to assign meaning to what children say. Children have a different idea every single day. Are you actually gender dysphoric, or are you just a child? You know, do you want to...
Children don't have enough life experience to actually fully understand the weight and consequences of this decision. This is why it's up to us as the parent to look out for it. That's your job as a parent, to keep your kids from doing a decision or doing actions that will detrimentally hurt them in the long term. I think a lot of this is happening is because a lot of parenting, the popular way of the parent is to be friends with your kids. Oh, I let my kids smoke because I'd rather they do it here within the safety of my house than to do it at someone else's house. So as a parent, I believe you have to set standards. You have to set boundaries with your children and with people around your children. Hey, don't teach my kid this stuff. We don't believe in that, and I don't want you teaching it to him. And then you got these teachers going behind your back telling your kids about this stuff. And then they get mad when we call them groomers. Crazy, right? I'll digress. Let's continue.
Be Spider-Man today. Would you support a scenario? And I always think of this scenario because I babysat, where I had a little girl who legitimately came to me crying and said she was a mermaid. Like she did not want to go out of the bath. Would you view it as responsible if I said, yes, you are a mermaid and you can sleep in the bath from now on, and now I'm going to take you to get procedures to have scales sewn onto your body? Would that sound absolutely insane to you for me as an adult to do that?
I will share what I think.
You notice how people on, I don't know his politics, but I commonly see this with people on the political left. You ask a question, and they didn't want to answer it. They just want to give you their perspective. A discussion is a two-way street. Like, I ask questions, I answer it. I ask questions, you answer it. You ask questions, I answer it. That's how you contribute to the conversation. But if I say something, hey, well, I ask you a question, and then you like, I'm just gonna give you what I think. You're not answering the question. You're just arguing from your point of view. And then when I give out facts that's inconvenient to what you just told me, you're going to be like, well, that's your opinion. You want to try to, I guess, dismiss it as a subjective view, a perception. When they were articulating something we observe in reality, say, hey, what about this little thing right here? Oh, no. That's just your opinion. That's just your interpretation. This is how it really is. Or this is my truth. That's your truth. Like, that's how they like to categorize things, because they don't have the actual facts on their side. They don't have the evidence on their side. We have evidence where, hey, transitioning your kid surgically, chemically, has more negative effects to that child than the benefits that they claim that procedure will have. And they instead of addressing the argument, they'd rather demonize you, shame you, to back down from that stance. This is why we want to homeschool our kids, right? Public school, corporate America, media, they trying to push this idea that it's normal. This is normal. It's just what parents do when they're treating gender dysphoria.
And my understanding of being a conservative is you don't want other people telling you how to parent. And that's what I'll say. I mean,
one thing I hate too with the political left, they love to use our principles, our virtues against us. They say, oh, look, this is up to your upheld to your standard. And I'm like, yo, but you got no standards. How I hold what you believe in? How can I hold you to account? How can I hold you to a standard? This is why they stay in this vague, abstract, loosey-goosey, never define anything. So you can't pin them on anything. But then they want to come to you and say, oh, I thought as a conservative, you live, let live. Yeah, we live, let live, but what about the kid? You're doing an action that will negatively affect the kid to the point where he'll kill himself 10 to 7 years after you do said procedure because you thought it was the right thing to do because the script, the public opinion on social media told you that's what you should do as a good parent. What about his life? What about the kid's life? Live, let live until it's inconvenient for you, political leftists. Where's that live, let live when you conceive a child and you're thinking about aborting it. Where's that live, let live? You can hold us to a standard, but you got no standards or principles to uphold. The only principles the political left believe is any means necessary to get power. That's the political left. Now, that's my opinion.
Look, there could be a defense for child abuse, though, right? I don't want people telling me how to parent, but I don't want children abused ever.
I don't want children abused either, but your perception of abuse might be different than my perception of abuse. Clearly.
That's very dangerous. That's a very dangerous.
So why should your perception have to do with her kids and her perception have to do with your kids? Why don't you parent your kids and you parent your kids?
Exactly, absolutely.
Walk away.
What's the reality, though? Is this a good procedure or a bad procedure? It's a good procedure, Kenny. Okay, why is this a good procedure for your kids? Your kids get to live. But what about the negative effects? After 7 to 10 years after said kid do procedure, he ends up killing himself. Why did that happen? Did this really address the problem? Or did this make the problem worse? Explain that to me. They don't want to go. All they care about is they want to justify it enough so when you make the decision, then you don't see them. They're not there for the negative consequences of said decision. They just wanted to. They tell you do it. You finally do it, and then they're gone. And then when your life's a train wreck, they're nowhere to be found. Oh, I just wanted you to do it that way, but look at the negative it caused my life. Well, it's too late now. That's the political left when they're pushing you to do a certain decision. Vaccine, same stuff. You have to do it. You have to do it to prevent this and that. And once you get it, and then the negative consequences, well, it's already done. Like you already got it. So no use crying over spilled milk. And then when conservatives are so hard, like when you get so mad at conservatives when they want to protect their kids, because literally the political left prove it time and time again. They have a vision of how something's supposed to turn out, and then when they implement said vision, it makes everything worse, and they're nowhere to be found to be held accountable. Oh no, well we didn't see this coming. Oh, but the conservatives saw it years in advance, but you didn't want to listen to them. Oh, that's crazy talk. That ain't gonna happen. My opinion of the political left is not an issue until it becomes an issue.
I think that walking away from that is very dangerous, and I will tell you why. We're talking about abuse, right? So I would not be comfortable with this argument if we were in the court of law and somebody said, hey, you've just been beating your children for 8 months and locked them in a basement, and someone said, let me parent my kids, or hey, you're a man, you've been raping your child, for the last 10 years. God. Let me parent my kids. There are truths and there are untruths, and to me, it is a truth that having your child undergo transition is a form of child abuse.
I missed that.
That's your opinion. But also, I feel like, this is why we're here today. In the world out there, the amount of gender dysphoric young people that are going through any medical intervention, it's not that many.
That's not true. Would you have numbers?
That's not true. That is not true.
I don't have numbers. I'm not going to share, but
I do. Would you like to hear them?
It doesn't matter to me.
Facts don't matter to me. I want to believe what I want to believe. I believe this is the right thing to do. I don't care what your facts say. This is why you can't have this is why I believe the mainstream media stays away from conversations like this, because at the end of the day, let's say Scott and Perez was on Fox News, CNN, somewhere as a national discussion. Perez looked real bad to me here. I don't care about facts. Your facts shouldn't tell me how I should parent. And then these are the same people that will get mad when you're saying, nah, I don't believe in your pseudoscience. Oh, you better trust the science. The science being the political science, the politicized science. That's the science you should believe. But when conservatives say, here's the facts, here's the science. Well, science is not, there's no consensus with that facts. And then you end, like I'm always stand on this. Thank you, Thomas Sowell, for this quote. World of words versus world of reality. Which where you live at? You live in the world of words where you're fighting for definitions, my truth, or you live in the truth, empirical evidence. Hey, facts don't care about your feelings. Where do we want to base our laws and policies on? Social visions, how we think things should be, good intentions, or the reality of the situation? Law and policies that fix the reality of a situation, not what we'd imagine the solution to be. What's the reality? What will actually fix said issue? Gender dysphoria, we see it. We see the studies. They get the transition, they still end up committing suicide anyway. So that means that path is not an effective way to solve or rectify the problem, which is gender dysphoria. So that means we have to look at other avenues. But if you dare give a different way of addressing said problem, mainstream media, the popular opinionists come out here and say that you're wrong about this. Don't you see that you want a living daughter? You don't want a dead son. This is why I say don't let these people have your emotions, bro. They'll twist and turn you to make you do whatever they see fit. Emotionally blackmail you to do whatever decision, and then later on when the facts come out and you find out you made a detrimental decision, they're nowhere to be found. The political left can take no accountability.
It should, because you're saying something, right? So like we want to get to the truth here.
And then we'll share it and cite it.
So there was a study that was done in the UK. Within a 6-year period of time, there was a 4,000% increase. There was another study that came out in Texas just a couple of months ago that mirrored the same 4,000%. So we have a 4,000% increase within children that are medically transitioned. If you take that 4,000% increase and you take what is made over a lifetime with synthetic hormones with these children, it's $1.3 million if you start a child at 14 and that child lives to 80 years old. That's $1.3 million. We're not talking about all the medical.
But what I'm getting at is the amount of children or teenagers doing this. I don't think it's hundreds of thousands.
You may not think it's not hundreds or thousands, but end of the day, these themes are very heavy on the internet, social media, TikTok, right? Your kids can get exposed to these ideas and there's like a trendiness to it. I forgot the segment. There's a segment that Bill Maher did that, forgive me, but I forget. But Bill Maher pointed this out, that there's a trendiness to this idea that, being male or female is not cool. Kids get influenced by that, say, hey, I'm something else because they want to fit in, right? And then based on that alone, you want us to make a permanent decision based on a feeling, without that kid not fully understanding the weight of his decision. That's what you want. And one thing I noticed with him, he never recognizes that, I can see why you see it that way. I see why. It's never no point of understanding from his part. It's all about, that's your opinion. Like he rationalizes why he could still think the way he thinks about said issue. And to me, that's not, you can't get to the heart of a problem, the heart of an issue, if you're debating with people like that. That they don't care about the reality of the situation. They don't care about the consequences of being wrong about said procedure. They just care about having their way. That's it. Honestly, that's my take. That's my take.
It might not even be more than 10,000 a year, to be honest. I don't know. I'm not going to share a number that I don't know. But if I had to guess, in the United States, the amount of teenagers or pre-teens that are having any kind of hormone intervention, in the thousands, I'm guessing.
Okay, well,
and how many hundreds of millions of people, and how many teenagers are there in America? Countless millions.
Okay.
So what you're saying is that
let the parents parent their children.
So you are fine now that you've been given the facts of how this. By the way, these are the effects that have happened to somebody who did this as an adult, right?
Yes, and
we are
look at Caitlyn Jenner.
Right.
Pointing to an exception of the rule. I don't like when people do that. Point to the rule, not the exception, right? Caitlyn Jenner, I believe that's his name. I believe he goes through what? He's one person. How many? I know what. You got Scott there, detransitioner. There's another lady, I forgot her name, young teenage girl that was a detransitioner as well. If you want to point to the exceptions of the rules and all this nonsense, bruh, you're using the 1% to justify something that happens on average to other people. This is kind of perspective I believe people, they don't fully think out their positions and what they're actually advocating for. Because at least when I advocate for something, I understand the pros and the cons. If you for free speech, that means people can call you bad names on the internet and no one can hold them accountable. That's the point. The good and the bad. But they literally believe that there's nothing wrong with my positions. It's just what I'm comfortable with and what I'm not comfortable with. They don't believe in right or wrong. They believe in you do it my way or the highway. That's what they believe in. It's all about power. Case in point.
Jenner would share a very different experience.
Right.
She's transitioned now for
Caitlin
over...
has spoken out about the depression that Caitlin faced post-transitioning and things of that nature. But I do want to say this. You are now armed with more facts. We are telling you that this can render someone infertile. This can render somebody with...
Well, like I said at the very beginning, it wouldn't be my first go-to. But what would you... It's okay.
It's not about first go-to.
Okay. If you're a mother of two in 15 years, 12 years, if your child says... continues, not once, obviously. If your child over a period of months says, I'm going to kill myself.
I just told you.
You go to a hospital and you figure out why. You ask them why you want to kill yourself. What's the problem? Like you go investigate what the issue is. You don't go into what mainstream media, because at the end of the day, who knows your kid more? You or mainstream media? You or people on TikTok and on social media? Who knows your kid better? You do. You have direct access to your kid. Find out what's wrong. Hey, what's going on with you? What's going on? Why you think you need to end your life? Talk to me, son. Talk to me, daughter. No, you have to do what the script says. Oh, if my kid says he's gonna kill, transition them. Oh, okay. I know what to fix you. Look, guys, on social media, I'm a good parent. That's how he comes across to me. You don't come across like I'm doing what's best for my kid. It comes across I'm doing what's best for me, what makes me look good, right? Because to me, parenting is doing something whether it's popular or not, is for the benefit of your child. Hey, son, I'm trying to protect you. Hey, son, I don't want to medically castrate you at 15 years old. Then when you're 30 years old, you're coming back telling me, Dad, I think I made a mistake and I was complicit in that. Nah, you ain't, not me. I don't care what social media says. I don't care. I don't care if the world hates me. I'm protecting my son. I'm looking out for my son. We need to find a different way, because this way is only profitable for the medical field, the pharmacists, all the people that benefit from there. This is the reason why they're pushing it, because they want money. They want you to be the perfect consumers. Here's our products and services. Oh, you feel like you're a girl? Here you go. Make $1 million off of the dead bodies of our children.
That's
I don't do this.
That's not true.
Well, let me ask the question.
True. Cite the study on that, because that is not true.
I'm just asking the question.
A whole generation of children, because you just said that, and you are fundamentally wrong.
In your opinion.
No, it's not an opinion. It is not an
my
opinion.
question was directed to Candace.
That is not an opinion.
And instead of giving a counter argument, he just tries to dismiss the person's point. Oh, it's in your opinion. It's in your opinion. Like, to me, you lose the argument doing that. If you just dismiss the point, okay, how is it an opinion? Explain yourself. How is that an opinion that Scott is giving you? He's citing facts. He's saying the studies that you're citing has been retracted. Is that reality or is that an opinion? That's reality. It got retracted. Now you can have a different assumption or a different interpretation of it, fine, but that event happened. You have to recognize that. And you can't argue in good faith if you're doing that. That's just my take. That honestly, because at the end of the day, facts don't have a filter, bro. The reality is the reality. You only got two things: accept it or not. That's it.
All 7 studies that said that. No, it's a retraction on 7 studies.
Okay.
You cannot say that and have it true. The odds of those kids committing
No matter how many times you repeat a lie, it doesn't make it true. Period.
Suicide will happen to 7 to 10 years after. You want to talk about facts and feelings, we'll do it. But don't say these kids are going to kill themselves.
I didn't say that.
The odds are they will.
Okay, so
after
they're presenting.
I said if a child tells you over the period of months.
Will you take them to the hospital and you have them seen for suicidal ideation?
Right. I would not put them on something that's I know is going to long term give them real suicidal thoughts because they've realized they can't go back and their parents have assigned, truth to what was just a feeling, right? It is my opinion that there is no such thing as transitioning. Yes, you can medically castrate yourself. Yes, you can get a bunch of cosmetic procedures. At the end of the day, you can't just transition to be a man or to be a woman. I am a woman. I can, there are things that women can do that men cannot. And because I have looked into this issue and I've spoken to people that are being silenced, there are so many people like Scott that are coming out and saying, listen to my story. early onset osteoporosis, people's bones. I mean, could you imagine your bones deteriorating?
Boys.
Yeah, for a child, for boys, if you go on these hormone blockers, right? Not being able to have children, that's a
But
big.
it also goes back to what I said a minute ago. I don't know the number, but I'm guessing it's not that many young people.
What do you mean when you say, like, what do you expect, I guess, the reaction to be if you say, well, it's just not that many people? Does that somehow justify Maren Morris signaling that this is just an LG? Because it's not. To me, the T issue should be knocked off. LGBT, you're talking about a sexual preference. When you're talking about transitioning, you're talking about medical procedures. You're talking about castrating children.
Some people, some trans people don't have medical intervention.
But we're here discussing children because you
what
and I
about-
disagreed about the children.
Yes.
What
right?
about
That was a good discussion. I end up getting like so lost in there. But my final thoughts, but it's subjective versus reality. That's pretty much what it came to. Here, the reality of the situation is you're castrating the kid. Kid won't be able to reproduce. The kid will have future health problems and the suicide will still happen. Did this procedure fix said problem? Yes or no? They won't answer it. I just feel like as a parent, I should look out for the well-being, the happiness of my child. Sorry, Buttercup, but life is not about happiness. All right? You can pursue happiness, but hey, end of the day, we all got struggles. We all got things we dealing with. But end of the day, you have to accept reality because that's the only way you can stay content in life. True happiness is accepting, hey, this is the reality of the situation. What can I do about it? The gods choose what happens to you. You only can choose how you respond. How I'm going to respond to this. Is this the proper response? Putting my kid into medical procedures, chemically castrating him so that way he can feel better? Feelings are temporary. That decision is forever. But let me guys know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.